Hello. Decorative plasterwork in the southwest of England enjoyed a golden age beginning in the mid-16th century and continuing into the 18th century. Few names are known, particularly those of the earliest practitioners. Some commentators in the past have suggested the artistry and the sheer quality of the work must mean it was by Italian or Flemish master craftspeople rather than locals, but the European tradition was to use lime plaster, not the gypsum-based stucco found in the English southwest. A few names are documented: Robert Eaton, who was active around 1600, Thomas Ford in the early 17th century, and John Abbott from a family of decorative plasterers based in Frizzlestock in North Devon, whose works span the late 17th and early 18th centuries. Examples of ornate plasterwork from this period can be found at Buckland Abbey, which became a private house after the dissolution of the monastery and is now in the care of the National Trust, and in several domestic houses throughout the southwest of England, including at Barton Chumley, a private farmhouse that's featured in Country Life magazine, and at what is now the Royal Hotel East the Water near Bideford, which has two ceilings by John Abbott. The Royal has later extensions, but largely occupies the one-time townhouse of local tobacco merchant and former Mayor of Bideford, John Davy. Formerly known as Colonial House, it was built in 1688, when Bideford had become the leading port in North Devon, mainly based on the tobacco trade with Maryland and Virginia. One of the finest ceilings can be found at 28 South Street, Great Torrington. Known as the Cawsey House, it was built in 1701 for Giles Cawsey and his wife Margaret, who have their initials alongside the date on one of the lead rainwater heads. Giles Cawsey was the town clerk, but no doubt dabbled in commercial business of some description as well. The site for the house was leased from the Town Lands Charity. A renewal document of 1712 makes clear there had been an earlier building. It describes the plot on which is now built a very good dwelling house. Fitting number 28, a new house onto an existing site, resulted in some of the angles not being as perfectly aligned as they would ordinarily have been. In 1701, when it was built, the Cawsey House would have looked strikingly modern, with its balanced symmetrical design, pedimented dormers, flat facade and sash windows, all features which became typical of later Georgian townhouses, as did its interior layout with a central staircase. A shell hood over the front doorway has a plasterwork cartouche surrounded by swords, shields and other military items. The ceiling in the principal room of the house, the ground floor front room, has a central panel featuring violins and other musical instruments, and perhaps the Cawseys enjoyed musical evenings here with their friends. Elsewhere there is plasterwork foliage. The descendants of Giles and Margaret Cawsey lived here until 1865. The house then became home to the local Liberal Club. In the 20th century, the Town Lands Charity subdivided the property and rooms were leased for a variety of purposes. It was used by local organisations for meetings and as offices, and there was even a rifle range here at one time. So the building served a useful purpose, but its importance as a period townhouse was disguised and lost, until in 1989 it was offered to the Landmark Trust, who have restored its original atmosphere and made it available as a characterful holiday let. Great Torrington itself enjoys a beautiful location on the top of a cliff that rises steeply from the Torridge Valley below. And next time, I'm going to look at a late medieval timber frame property in the Dutch quarter of Colchester. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.